Trying to find the right formula to pay off and then get rid of Broward Superintendent Robert Runcie was tricky business.
Superintendent Runcie resigned as he fights a charge that he lied during grand jury testimony. The separation is complicated, legally and politically. Broward School Board Chair Dr. Rosalind Osgood led those negotiations. She is here with us live. Dr. Osgood, great to see you this morning.
Great to see you as well this morning, Glenna and Michael.
Thank you, Dr. Osgood. Let's begin sort of with this tough job that you did with the help of the Miami-Dade legal counsel, the head lawyer for Miami-Dade County Public Schools. $754,900 is the severance package for Robert Runcie. Is that fair to him? Is it fair to the taxpayers of Broward County?
The school board believes so, Michael. That $754,900 is comprised of several components. As you know, Mr. Runcie earns an annual salary of $356,201 for a 244-day contract. The amount that was agreed upon in the negotiations was comprised of $261,840, which Mr. Runcie had already earned as of May 1st. Another 90 days pay in compensation for the 90 days that the board agreed that he would continue to serve in the amount of $170,547. 20 weeks of severance pay, which is allowable by the Florida statute. That amount is $217,513. And then the remaining balance of $105,000 is for attorney fees and $80,000 to go toward the Florida retirement system.
Dr. Osgood, you sound like a human calculator. And when you put it so bluntly like that, I will say, you know, there's a line item by line item reason behind all of this. I just want to kind of put the headline on it that we saw this week. People were kind of shocked when they saw that number. But to your point, this is what a school district does contractually. Broward and every other school district, administration makes a certain amount of money. And I don't think taxpayers are really clued in on that until something like this occurs. What do you say to that? Dr. Osgood, can you hear us okay?
I hear you now. You did go out for a moment.
Okay, I'll just make that really long question really short. The big numbers that you're talking about were shocking to a lot of people, but to your point, this is a contract that you have with essentially a CEO that school districts everywhere do. What can you tell Broward taxpayers who don't look at the numbers? Let's say this never happened. They don't look at the numbers your administration makes. What's that message?
Well, the message is that all government entities operate with transparency. We meet, we have workshops, we discuss, we put information online, we share with the community all the funds that are being spent as it relates to administration, whether we are procuring human capital or products or services. And what the Broward County School Board has done is honored its contract with Mr. Robert Runcie, as we do with all of our employees, continue to practice good fiduciary responsibility by using the funds that the people give us in the most prudent way. So the negotiation with Mr. Runcie was a challenging negotiation. I'm very honored that my colleagues allowed me to serve as the chair of the school board during this time. There was a lot of thought, a lot of conversation, and I was really pleased that I could bring back something to them that I thought was fair to Mr. Runcie, an employee of the district who has served the district and had some remarkable accomplishments during that tenure.
And I think what really shouldn't be lost here, Dr. Osgood, is, you know, this has been controversial because you have a shocking criminal charge against a school superintendent. But Robert Runcie is innocent until proven guilty. And I think a lot of people who are rightfully or wrongfully outraged about what he might have done or not done, that is a point set match, is it not?
I do think so as well, Glenna, but I will say to all of us, we know that when someone is indicted or charged of a crime, this country has a system in place that allows for due process. And we have to allow that system, the criminal justice system, to perform its duties and responsibilities while we continue to practice good human resource practices and implementing and the policies that we have and following those policies. It is not for us to say the outcome of Mr. Runcie's case. The jury, the courts will make those decisions at that time.
Yeah. You know, Dr. Osgood, clearly an incentive for you and for the board to reach a satisfactory severance agreement with Mr. Runcie is that you could not really recruit a quality person, man, woman, to come in and be the Broward school superintendent unless they had confidence that their contract would be honored in the breach, as this one is. That was a factor, wasn't it?
It was a major factor, Michael, because as we move forward, we're going to need a leader for our school district. And people all over the nation are watching. They're watching how we handled this moment. They're watching if the board was going to be true to the contract that it had in place. And as we look to hire the next superintendent, it'll be very interesting when we get into the numbers of what that amount is going to cost us to get somebody that's qualified and capable of continuing to move our district forward.
So speaking of moving the district forward in the minute or so that we have left, Broward parents and taxpayers are looking at this district and wondering what comes next. You have the superintendent has 90 days for this transition. Who is going to be in that seat? How are you going to do this as successfully as possible? You've got a host of other issues like the pandemic and coming back from the masking. You've got a divided board with parents who lost and families who lost people in Parkland. Does the next month and right up to the next school year, how is that going to be managed? And I know that in a minute that's a tough one, but I'll just hand that to you.
Well, we'll continue to use the adaptive problem solving measure where we have workshops and we collectively discuss and share ideas. And then we go to a board meeting and we vote during the democratic process of the majority vote winning. We are moving very expeditiously to have an interim superintendent and a permanent superintendent. But we're also taking our time and doing the due diligence and our research to make sure that we get a person that is qualified and capable of moving the district forward. So we will continue to lead as we have done through the pandemic and other crises of the school district with conversations following a process that this nation is set in place as a democracy.
Dr. Rosalind Osgood, so good to have you with us today. Good luck with the search for a new superintendent.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Micah and Glenna.